What up, what up, what up? It's your favorite podcast with your favorite podcast host. Talking your favorite podcast message. Talking the favorite podcast stuff. What's happening? It's Freewenow. It's Freewenow. Freewenow. It's Freewenow.
Till it is. 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 It is. It is. Backwards.
What up, what up? We back. It's Freewenow.
Till it is backwards.
Yes, sir, ski. Look, Proverbs 26 today. And it's a lot of great stuff in Proverbs 26, right?
A lot of great stuff.
And this is almost the chapter of the fool. You know what I'm saying? Because it's fool this, folly this, fool this, fool this, fool this. So I'm like, wow. What? You know, for me, I'm like, what does the word fool even mean? Because you're using it so much. You know what I'm saying? But so we'll talk about today, the foolish, Proverbs 26. Proverbs is written by King Solomon, right? Let's keep that in mind. What you got for the people, Key?
I'll give you a little quote. When you give up when it's hard, you will suffer when it's supposed to be easy. When you give up when it's hard, you will suffer when it's supposed to be easy. These verses we going over today, y'all will get a little insight on that quote right there.
Facts. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got my stunners on today. I can't even see y'all.
Yeah, you can't even see.
What Kawhi said? I don't even know where you sitting at.
I don't even know where you sitting.
I don't even know where you sitting at. All right, so look, first let's understand the word fool, right? Because they're using it so much, right? So the original context of all this was Hebrew language, right? So if you want to understand the words, maybe do a little word study and see what it means in Hebrew. So the word fool, the way they're using in Proverbs 26, comes from the Hebrew word kasil, right? Meaning stubborn, morally dull, right? Self-confident fool who rejects wisdom and correction, right? So it doesn't mean unintelligent, right? It doesn't mean that this person doesn't have the capacity to be smart or understand concepts, right? It's a person who refuses correction. You refuse wisdom. That's what a fool is. So I'm thinking, oh, that was so foolish. You do something dumb. You do something stupid, right? But we all know people in our lives, and hopefully you don't have to look at that person in the mirror to know who that person is, right? That they just refuse correction.
No better. Can't get right.
Can't get right. You know what I'm saying? You just refuse to do right. And you know good from bad. You know right from wrong, right? So that's what the word fool means. Just keep that in perspective. All right, so what are some verses that you got, bro, at the beginning?
So jumping right to it, the first section, we broke it down into three themes. The first theme is the nature of a fool, right? So we're going to tell you how a fool acts. Verse 11, as a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. Yuck.
When I read that, I said, whoa.
Disgusting.
Return to your vomit is crazy.
If you're a dog person, you've seen your dog throw up and then hit you with one of these and then start eating his throw up.
Yeah.
And that's the type of disdain that you should have for foolish behavior.
You know, and I'm sorry. This is one thing I'm going to say. That's what really grinds my gears when people try to treat their dogs on a level of people or give them more reverence than a person. You give them more reverence to this animal that returns to his vomit than you will a person.
Yeah.
And I always say this about Harambe. They picketing and having signs about don't kill Harambe. You know, you get choked out in the street. You know what I'm saying? And like, he was an addict. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, but as he's saying, y'all, so one of the biggest lessons is returning to something that makes you sick is bigger than a mistake. That means you have found comfort in a place that harms you.
Ooh.
So that's what we're talking about. A dog already knows the outcome. They've already seen how their body reacts to this foolish nature, but then you return to it. It's one thing to make a mistake.
Yeah.
It's one thing not to know the outcome. It's one thing to go off on a limb.
Right.
But when you already know what it's going to do to you and you continuously return back to that, that's insanity.
Obviously, your body don't want it.
That's the actual definition of insanity. Actually, it's worse than an insanity because you're doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome. That's insane. But being foolish, you're doing a wrong thing, knowing the outcome. You know what's going to happen and you still do it.
You still do it.
So that really gives you like a picture. I love how the Bible is very descriptive in its explanations.
Right.
Like it allows you to visualize how big of a mistake that is.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, like I'm not up here talking from a perfect standpoint. I've done some foolish things before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've returned to places I shouldn't be, relationships I shouldn't be in. I've returned to ventures that I shouldn't do, right? But eventually I got smart and realized like this is not right for me. And then verse 12, seest thou a man wise in his own conceit? There is more hope of a fool than of him. Now we just talked about a fool returning back to their vomit like a dog. Somebody wise in their own conceit is worse than a fool. They a super fool. You know what I'm saying?
Super fool.
You know what I'm saying? They're worse than a regular fool. And when they say wise in their own conceit, that means they believe they have nothing to learn. I heard a quote, when you believe you're the smartest person in the room, you've just become the dumbest. You have to understand there's always somebody in a realm that can teach you something. Now, I may know a lot about something, but I don't know everything about everything.
Right.
And what I mean by that is sometimes you just got to be able to admit that you don't know everything. Like, I don't understand when it became so taboo to say, I don't know.
Bro, that's how I feel about COVID. Just say, I don't know.
Like, I don't get it. Like, when did it become so taboo to say, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, even if somebody bullies you, I'd rather get bullied for admitting that I don't know something than sit here and try to convince people about something that's wrong.
Right.
Like, tell me when I'm wrong so I can get right. Like, that's what I'm trying to do in life. I'm trying to get right.
Right.
Like, I done already seen what it looks like to be wrong, so let me err on the other path.
For sure. Yeah, no, those are big, bro. I mean, returning to your own vomit is asinine. You know what I'm saying? And then wise in your own conceit. But I mean, we see it all the time today, bro. Like, you just said it. When you know the outcome and you see your body is rejecting that. It can be diet. It can be food. It can be a lifestyle. It can be a person. It can be a relationship, right? And you see your body is rejecting it. You see how your mind is rejecting it. You see your spirit, above all things, is rejecting it. You know the outcome and you still return to it. That's foolish behavior. What are you doing in your life? Let's make this personal. Because we'll read the Bible and be like, man, them folk crazy.
They crazy. I ain't doing nothing they doing.
I ain't doing it, man. Them folk crazy. He did what? Adam did what? Eve did what? Ain't no way I'll do that. But let's break it down in real life. What are you doing? What are you returning to? You know the outcome. You see your spirit rejecting it. You know the outcome. You still doing it. Whew, that hit my soul right there.
Man,
I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to I ain't even say that. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said that. They're talking to myself. All right, so a couple verses that stood out to me, right? And these stood out to me because I'm like, what you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?
Get the out my face.
What you talking about? What you talking about? Okay, so when I first read it, I'm like, how would you say one thing and then come back and just contradict what you just said? Right? So Proverbs 26, verse 4. Verse 4 and 5, they threw me for a loop. So whenever the Bible throws you for a loop, dig a little deeper. Right? Don't just accept it as that and be like, oh, I can't trust the Bible, or oh, the Bible's contradictory. Oh, this is why Christianity, yada, yada, yada. Dig a little deeper. Verse 4, it says, don't answer the foolish arguments of fools, or you will become as foolish as they are. In my head, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Verse 5 says, be sure to answer the foolish arguments of fools, or they will become wise in their own estimation. One verse you say to me, don't argue. The next verse you saying argue. What you talking about?
What you talking about?
What you talking about? I don't understand. So when I dig a little deeper, it's saying wisdom is knowing when to respond and knowing when not to respond, right? So verse 4, right, it says, according to his folly, right? So don't answer a fool according to their folly, right? According to their ways, right? So don't argue the way they argue, right? Don't stoop to insults, right? Or irrational comments or emotional chaos, right? Don't let their tone control you, right? Never allow somebody's emotional outbursts to bring you down to their level, right? Somebody's swerving in traffic and driving and they got road rage. They cut you off. Now you got road rage.
You meet them at their level.
You meeting them at their level. My mama always tell me, water seek its own level now. You know what I'm saying? Water seek its own level. That's some down south proverbs. So no matter where you go, you are where you are, right? So water gonna seek its own level. People will leave, I had to leave this city and go to this city, and they doing the same thing in this city. I left this school and got kicked out of that school and I had to go to this school. They fall in love with all the same stuff. All the people doing the same stuff. Water seek its own level, right? So don't allow somebody to bring you down to their level. That's what verse 4 is saying, right? Verse 5 is saying, right? Nonetheless, there are times when you do have to address it, right? So verse 5 is saying, address the foolish thinking. So if somebody's yelling and arguing, cursing you out, that doesn't mean for you to start yelling and cursing them out. Ask yourself, okay, should I address this? What value am I going to gain from addressing this situation? There's some times where you do address it, but you address it on a wisdom and high level, right? Address the thinking, not the behavior. If a kid is acting out in school, right? It's probably, let's say, are we just gonna go and punish them, or are we gonna respond and say, this kid may be hungry and they didn't eat all day. Maybe the only times they come to school is the only times they eat is when they come to school, right? Address the foolish thinking. Address the root, right? Don't address the foolish behavior. For example, right? We got a big beef going on in social media right now, right? 50 Cent and T.I. At what point do you actually respond, right? Like, I know for a fact that 50 Cent has become a just wizard at addressing social media things, right? So as a person who's watching this, I'm like, okay, if I was in this situation, when do I respond and when do I not respond? If somebody's spreading lies about you or rumors, not saying anything is okay, but at some point you don't want people to start believing the foolish things. So you have to respond on the level that you're supposed to respond to when it requires that. So that's when verse 4 and 5 is saying, right? It may sound contradictory. It may sound like, well, you're telling me to do one thing and be hypocritical and go back and tell me to do the exact opposite, right? That's not what it's saying. Should I respond? Okay, I should. I'm not going to go to their level. I'm going to go to the wisdom level.
You know, I love the Bible because, as we said, one of the purposes of the Bible is to help you gain discernment, right?
For sure.
And with verse 4 and 5, it tells me timing is everything.
For sure.
Like, you can say an important thing, but if you say it at the wrong time, nobody listens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you cannot say anything, and if you don't say it at the right time, you miss the plot.
Right.
And as I say, like, the Bible is a mirror. So verse 4 and 5 has shown me areas where I fell short. Not too long ago, I found myself arguing with an individual for an extended period of time trying to prove my point.
Yeah.
And it was like during the argument, it was like time froze. Like, I paused and I started to look around. And I see people around us laughing. And I'm starting to realize that though I'm saying something that I think is very introspective, I've just become part of the foolish nature of this argument. So I just stopped. Another situation presented itself that fueled me to argue again, and I just chose to keep my mouth closed because I learned I didn't use that foolish nature. I understood that timing is everything, and this is not the time to talk about this.
Not the time.
So understand, learn. Don't become the foolish person. Learn verse 4 and 5, and you can see how it connects to verse 11 and 12.
Facts.
All right, so we go to the next section. Laziness and self-deception. I think they're the same thing. Laziness is self-deception. So understand that. Verse 13, the slothful man saith, there's a lion in the way. A lion is in the streets. Now, before I go to verse 14, I got to kind of break that down. Lazy people are the most creative individuals I've ever met in my entire life.
Super creative.
And the reason I say that is to be lazy, you have to tell a lie that is believable. You can't just say, hey, yo, I can't make it. It's my car fell off my tire. The tire rolled down the street, caused a pileup accident on the 35. I'm sorry, I'm not going to make it. Like, they have to use so much brain power to not work.
What Kevin Hart say? It was a deer bruh. I saw a deer bruh on the road. That's why I was late. It was a deer bruh.
You got to use so much creativity and imagination to be lazy. You're doing work to not work. You know what I'm saying? It's backwards to me.
Right.
Not only are you extremely creative, which tells me you have the ability to do something,
right,
but you're working.
Right.
You're working to be lazy. To not do anything, you have to do something to not do that.
Right.
So this just shows me that, you know what I'm saying, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're just running around in circles, which is important because it goes into this next verse and explains exactly what I just said, running around in circles. As the door turneth upon his hinges, so doth the slothful man upon his bed. I know we've all seen those old, Western movies. people bust in the saloon and the door just
right
in the background. Right. All the commotion going on in the saloon, you just see the door in the back. This just goes to show me, bro. Goes to show me that slothfulness and laziness is a picture of aimless movement. You like being busy does not mean that you're being productive.
Oh my goodness, bro. That's one of my pet peeves.
Being busy does not mean you're productive. As they said, a slothful man, he's doing something. He's turning around in his bed. You know what I'm saying? So he's actively doing something, but not moving anywhere. His potential is trapped because of his slothfulness. As they said, like the hinges of a door, like a door can do a lot of motion. It can do a lot of work, but it stays in the same place its entire life.
Facts.
So understanding that slothfulness, laziness, it is work, but it is destructive work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're deceiving yourself by believing that you're actually doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you're deceiving yourself. It's hilarious. It's so counterproductive. If you'd have spent half the time that you spent on being lazy, you probably have you know what he said in the song.
You know what I'm saying? like Keith is saying, right? Like, don't confuse motion with progress, right? I got motion. No, we got motion over here. Okay, do you have progress? Where are you going? Right? Like you're in the same position. So on the verse 13, a lion out there, right? For me, that resonated with saying, and this time, day and age, it's a lot less industrial, right? It's a lot less progressive and a lot less technologically advanced, right? Lions could be actually on the road, and that would prevent you from doing something. Mm-hmm. So I brought it to myself, like, what excuses am I making? Am I saying, oh, they don't hire black people? Am I saying it's the man's fault? What in today's age is that lion that prevents me from doing, oh, it's too hard to learn how to edit. Oh, we need cameras. Oh, and to do this podcast, bro, we not perfect. We got to get our life together. We got to stop drinking. We got to stop smoking. We got to stop cursing, right? Like, what am I doing in my life that I'm dressing up as a lion and I'm really just being lazy? Drake said, people be making excuses acting like they taking their time. Oh, I'm just taking my time. No, you making an excuse. So like, what in your life is that lion? Oh, I can't do that, bro. They don't really rock with women like that, so I can't do that. Like, oh, nobody from my family has ever done that. Nobody, has ever gone to college. I can't go to college. Like, what is that lion in your life? So much so, what's even funnier is like in a verse it says, yes, I'm sure it's out there, right? You're not even out there.
You're just guessing.
You're in your bed. You're in your bed saying there's a lion out there. How do you know?
I'm sure it's out there.
I'm sure. And then the Bible said, I'm sure it's out there. How? I'm sure this is preventing me. You're in your bed. How can you see what's out there in your bed?
You're not even doing anything.
And to the next verse of verse 14, it says, swinging on its hinges. For me, it was like, that's the design of the door. The door is doing what it was designed to do, right? So if you're lazy and you're turning over, essentially you're saying, I was designed to do this. I'm designed to make excuses. I'm designed to turn over in my bed and say it's not going to work. I'm designed to give up. Is that who you were created to be, to give up, to quit? Are you designed just to swing back and forth? Are you designed just to turn over in your bed back and forth to make excuses? But what do I know?
Yeah. And before you move on to your next point, I think it's so important to kind of understand this. I think lazy people and slothful people have a high view of themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Their main excuse is, I mean, I could do it if I wanted to.
I could do it if I wanted to.
I could do it if I wanted to. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm really like that. But I don't want to do it. It's like, how do you have such a high view of yourself if you've never done anything? You know what I'm saying?
I know for me, I'd be like, oh, yo, if I got my diet right, my body'd be crazy.
I'll be cold.
I know, but I ain't got my diet right.
You know what I'm saying? If I hit the gym, I'll be strong, bro. I'm telling you, you're not even like that. I'll be strong. Bro.
I'll be strong. Okay.
Prove it. Show me.
I'm not black, I'm OJ. Okay. Right, so that takes me to the next verse, right? 15 and 16, talking about a high view of yourself. Lazy people take food in their hand, but don't even lift it to their mouth. Lazy people consider themselves smarter than 7 wise counselors, right? So it's like you said, lazy people are also arrogant, right? It's like you're too lazy to act and too proud to admit it. You know what I mean? Like real world examples of that, right? An entrepreneur who never launches. You got all these great ideas, right? But you never launch anything, right? I'm gonna buy all these courses. For a while, I have fell in love with buying courses that feel like I'm doing the actual task. I'm gonna read books on self-development to make me feel like I'm self-developing. I'm gonna go to therapy and tell you how great I am because I go to therapy. I know my traumas, but did you fix them? Did you practice what you went to therapy? I think therapy is a great thing. I'm not bashing therapy, but there needs to be a next step. It's like I go to the doctor and I know my knee is messed up. Okay, cool. I got the diagnosis. I feel like that's what therapy is. But after that, you still got to go to physical therapy. You still got to actually exercise the muscle. If I know I got diabetes and don't change my diet, what good is knowing the diagnosis?
Should have just went without it.
It's better to not know I got diabetes than to know you have diabetes and not change your behavior. So it's cool to go to therapy. No, it really is cool. Please go to therapy.
It's very important.
But don't go to therapy, leave the door, and then let it swing on its hinges behind you. You feel me? And you don't change anything in your lifestyle. Oh, I know the therapy. I know it's more. I know blah, 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 blah. And that's it. I know my traumas. Do you know yours? Sure. Okay, you know them. Cool. Did you do anything about it? Did you change your behavior? Right? Don't be too lazy to act and too proud to admit it. Right? The employee who complains about everything, right? We talked about fitness already. Social media comments. Oh my gosh, right? Like the person who will scroll all day, right? You arguing in comment sections, right? But you have no real world results. Nobody can, what J. Cole say, your Twitter, follow me in real life. Like screw your social media. People follow me in real life, bro. People listen to me in real life, bro. Like I got respect in real life. I'm not gonna argue in comments about what such and such did, and you trying to antagonize them and comment on them, and you got all this insightful psychiatric diagnosis for these celebrities, but in your own life and in the mirror, I can't see anything. Right? It says, read this verse again, and we'll move on. Right? 15. Lazy people have food in their hand. You so lazy, bro. I got a Chick-fil-A sandwich in my hand. I still need you to feed it to me. Lazy people take food in their hand but don't even lift it to their mouth. Lazy people consider themselves smarter than 7 wise counselors. Like Keith said earlier, are you smarter than everybody? You know more than everybody?
Yeah, we got to do better. We got to do better. So we're going to go into the end half of these verses, right? It says strife, gossip, and hidden malice. And we got a lot of that in today's world. It's everywhere. Strife, gossip, and hidden malice. Haters, they're there.
It's called the shade room.
All right. So verse 23, burning lips and a wicked heart are like potsherd covered with silver dross. He that hateth dissembleth with his lips and layeth up deceit within him. When he speaks fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Burning lips and a wicked heart are like potsherd covered with the silver dross. Some of us are, I'll say this, some men are very gifted speakers, but they're worthless individuals. I can convince you of anything. I can get you close to me, but I don't have the ability to sustain that relationship.
Yeah.
Hassan always likes to allude it today. Hitler was an amazing speaker, but a wicked individual. These are some of the same people that you're relating to in life because you like being lied to. A lot of us don't even have the ability to question people on their narratives. We just hear stuff and we believe it because it sounds good. Ooh, I like the flowery language. I like the visualization. I like the picture that you painted. But like, what is the truth behind it? Is there any actual sustenance in what you're telling me? Are you who you say you are? This is why me and Hassan always say, judge people by the fruits. Judge them by their fruits. Because last time I checked, a tree don't got to say a damn thing to let you know what type of tree it is.
No cap.
You know what I'm saying?
No cap.
An orange tree don't pop out and say I'm an orange tree. You just see the fruit.
Fact.
So that's how you should treat.
This? You see the fruit.
You see the fruit. That's how you should treat individuals. Like, yeah, it's good to be able to compliment your actions with words. Like we do love gifted speakers. You know what I'm saying? I would consider me and Hassan some gifted speakers.
Not too bad.
But if you pry into our life, we are following along with the things that we say. We're putting action behind words. Your words are great, but they're just a compliment. Don't let it become the main thing. And then it says, he that hateth dissembleth with his lips and layeth up deceit within him. There's haters everywhere. Don't trust the hater. When he speaks fair, don't believe him. A lot of us have gone under this notion, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. And y'all took that to heart because your enemies is playing in your face. The same people that go around hating on every individual never have anything positive to say. They always got a wicked narrative. They always got a backhanded comment. They always have a plan on top of a plan. They always scheming. Don't think just because they telling you about their schemes that they not doing the same thing to somebody else when it comes to you.
Scheming.
Understand that hate can be hidden through creative speaking. Some people that are in your life, they show you with their actions, but then they just say, oh, my bad, I didn't really mean it that way. My bad, this is how it's supposed to sound. Don't get so caught up in people's words. Understand them by the fruit of their tree.
Facts. I mean, what do you want me to say? You know what I mean? I think the biggest thing you said, bro, is, and we read it and talked about it, is understanding when a person shows you who they are, believe them. Right? If I'm seeing the fruit that you're producing in your life, why should I listen to you? Why should I have you close to me? I see you have a fruit of deceit. I see you have a fruit of switching sides. I see you have a fruit of neglect. I see you have whatever your fruit is, that's what I'm gonna judge you by. You know what's interesting? People are like, don't judge me. You showed me. I don't have to judge. How you gonna judge me for doing X, Y, Z?
We listen and we don't judge.
We listen and we don't judge.
We judge and we don't listen.
Ooh. Once we see your fruit, we judge and we don't listen. If that's the fruit that you showing me, what, like, you want me to ignore that? I would be lying to myself to look at you, see you are a woman, and then call you a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be, am I tripping? Like, but you want me to lie to myself. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. Right? Like, I'm not the person that's going to come out with a sign and be on a megaphone on the corner and be like, all of y'all are going to hell. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? That ain't my ministry. But don't force me to walk your walk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want me to force me to believe what you believe.
I ain't got to see it your way.
I don't have to. We can just agree to disagree. And that's okay. We judge and we don't listen. That's funny. All right. So mine was verses 17, right, through 21, right? And so just listen to these and see if these still apply today. Verse 17, interfering in someone else's argument is as foolish as yanking a dog's ears. Okay, so back then, yanking a dog's ear, right, when they're a little bit more wildly, they're not as domesticated. When you would yank a dog's ear, a dog would turn around and bite you, right? So interfering in someone else's argument, it's going to come around and bite you. For example, we got Tina Knowles. I love Tina Knowles. We got that's Beyonce's mom. I love them, right? You got 50 Cent. He's in a beef with T.I. Tina Knowles post a picture of Tiny looking good, and now 50 Cent posted a picture about Tina Knowles, right? So now you're in a situation, if I'm Jay-Z, I'm like, dang, now you put me in a position where I may have to pick up some beef that wasn't even mine, trying to defend your honor as my mother-in-law. Don't go yanking dogs' ears that don't got nothing to do with you, right? Don't interfere with somebody else's argument. Verse 18, just as damaging as a madman shooting a deadly weapon is someone who lies to a friend and then says, I was only joking.
I was just kidding.
I may tell you a joke,
but I'll never tell you a lie.
So in every joke, there's some truth. So every time you talking about your business, oh, that little business, Oh, I'm just joking. You know, I know you're going to be, really? Orangutan?
Everything's a joke?
Really? Everything's a joke? Every time I'm doing something good, you got a joke. Every time somebody's proud of me or I'm in a good position, you got a joke. Right? Don't be in the Bible. This is what I'm saying. How could you not read the Bible? It's telling you, it's trying to give you game. It's a fireside chat right now. It's like, don't be naive. And all them jokes is some truth. Right? Verse 20. Fire goes out with wood. Fire goes out without wood. Let me say that again. Fire goes out without wood, and quarrels disappear when gossip stops. A quarrelsome person starts fights as easily as hot embers light charcoal or fire lights wood. So where there's smoke, there's fire, right? If there's some gossip going on, it's probably a person that's quarrelsome that's starting it. If that quarrelsome person leaves, the gossip stops. So if you got gossip going on in your life, let's be smart. Let's see what the Bible says. Just as fire is designed, right, to be to light wood, that person's nature is just as igniting, right, to cause gossip, to be an instigator, right? Understand that's that person's nature. Again, what he say? Judge them by their fruit. So if that's what they're producing, understand that's who they are. And it's gonna hurt. I done lost some people close to me. I said this prayer: God, please remove anybody from my life that's not for me, and bring everybody to my life that is for me. I didn't realize God was gonna realize real lies. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize that God was gonna realize real lies. And it was gonna be people that I thought we was like, but in reality, it wasn't like that. So keep that in mind. Again, this is Proverbs 26, and we've talked about the nature of the fool. We talked about foolish ways. What else we talked about? We talked about gossip. We talked about spreading rumors.
Laziness.
We talked about laziness. These are all traits of foolish people. So don't think foolish is doing something stupid, right? Or you did something dumb, or you made a mistake. When you're talking about foolish in this sense, it's talking about that person's nature. Looking at vomit and returning to it. We're not talking about, you can be an intelligent fool. Most fools are intelligent. Most fools are creative. Most fools have gifts. But don't be deceived. Because as we see in Proverbs 26, this is their nature. Who are you to try to change somebody's nature? That ain't your role. Only person that can do that is God.
God.
And last time I checked, you ain't God, bro.
You is not and never will be.
You know what I'm saying? So don't try to change somebody's nature. What you got?
I ain't got nothing else, man. That was perfect.
We out. Freewenow?
Till it is backwards.
Yes, sir, Ski.